Hi and welcome to this video on Fallout 4. This video will cover why you should scavenge in the wasteland. This game is massive in so many different ways that I am hopefully going to cover. If this recording all goes well, I will cover every little piece that will make you want to play this game because this game is fucking gorgeous. For an example, the buildings over there. That building you see is not just a random building in the background. That's actually a building you can go to all the way over here. I think it's specifically that building is the building you are seeing way over there. And then there's even more to this map, not just that, beyond it. This map is huge. This line right here is the border, but that is the only border to this map. And you can easily, it'll tell you different things like that, but the workable space is fucking gigantic and something amazing. Every little piece, even if it's not a named location, can still have things. Like there's around this area, there is a couple places here and there that aren't actually named, that aren't actually a thing, that have a couple stem packs, things here and there that'll help you out. It is just amazing how much loot you can find. And the reason why I specifically say scavenge is because everything in your inventory, or everything you can pick up that is not, even hairbrushes and everything you're seeing here, that is not a like nailed to the ground or too heavy to just put in your pocket, even miniguns you can put in your pocket, but besides the point, those things you can pick up, anything and everything is useful, even cigarette cartons, for those different things. Those things, everything you are seeing, can be used in just about any way you really think. Steel is typically like steel is used in just about anything when you're using metalworking, woodworking, that general thing. Some weapons take different, like some weapons take wood, I believe, in different things like that. Like I believe the pipe weapons take wood to upgrade. And I will show you all of that, and I'll go through all of that, relatively speaking, not all of it, but give you hard examples of why this system is like the best survival system. Because being able to take any junk, even at a certain point, your random pieces of armor, which is why I have so many that I'm not actually wearing, random pieces of armor, weapons, all sorts of shit. Why I have Rex's laser musket and Rex's pipe pistols, because I personally suck in naming things, and those are weapons that I leveled up a whole lot. My name is Rex IRL. I named my character Rex because, again, I suck at names. I was trying to think of, like, I think his name is Samson from the, Venture Bros. I was naming him Rex Samson, but because everyone just has one name, I just named him Rex. I changed his name after before I left the vault. And that's actually where I am if you did not know this. This game is Fallout. It has a lot of vaults. This is the first vault you will actually go into, and the one right before, right as the bombs drop in the opening bits of the game. Which is why, or part of the reason why I started here, because this is going to be your most... This is what you will see no matter... Okay, something kind of cool about this game overall is that there is no late game, relatively speaking. Like, there is early game, defined. Defined early game is when you reach this point, go down and come back up. When you come back up from that hole there. And just so you can see the hole... This hole here, once you come back up from this, I'm actually going to go down it. Actually, I should show you it, but... Alright. So you don't actually get annoyed to the beeping. Or buzzing. Hopefully that turns it off. Shit. Well, that's a good segue into what I was going to do. Not really a good segue, but going down here. The vault itself is actually a very good point, and the reason why I love having my home base here, which is something I'm going to show off a good bit, because this base is beautiful, in my personal opinion, and there's even buildings up in places here, but I'll get into a whole lot of this. The vault is a good place to set up or to come back to constantly. You can actually fast travel using the map to allow you to go here, and that is the only place that I found thus far that has free healing, relatively speaking, unless you build into it. And that is something else I am going to show off that I haven't actually... show off now. Okay. The purified water you can get by investing into settlements. You can get water there, and they will constantly make purified water. Even if you're off doing other shit, they'll be constantly making purified water. Purified water is guaranteed health. 40 HP right then and there after you drink it, and it will give you constant health. Like, that's boom HP, where you don't have to worry about it as long as you have it. Stim packs, the reason why I'm swapping these around, stim packs give you constant health. If you did not know that, it's, I believe, like 30% of your HP. So if you have a fuck ton of healing, this would actually be better, or a fuck ton of health, this would actually be better overall, but it's not better right now with the way I'm playing, which is why I'm saying there is no early game or late game. Technically, if you want to be absolutely, like, there's two ways to think of late game. Late game could be after you have completed a specific campaign, because there's multiple different campaigns you can go down, multiple different things you can do. It's one of those massively just open world games, so there's really not a into it, relatively speaking, and this is one of the very few that does not have a level cap, which is something else I'm going to go into, but yeah, there's a lot to this game. Bear with me, and I'm sorry, just this game is amazing, and there's so many little things you can do in it. Let me first quickly swap this around, and I can come back to this menu. I don't have to cover everything I want to. Where is stims? I think I'm going the wrong way. Shit. And this also shows how many things are just in this game. Did not mean to take one. Shit. How I am prioritizing my menu here is each one is actually a very important thing, like, for example, Radaway. Radaway will instantly get rid of rads, which are a very big pain in the ass, because what they do is, you'll actually see them down at the bottom, or down my HP bar. The HP bar is technically cut off right there, right at that bit of red. You cannot heal past that, but it is still HP that you technically have. But when you get rid of it, it instantly allows you to heal it up, which is very good and very handy, because that's why you need the Radaway, and I think other things here and there can get rid of rads, but the main way you're going to do that is Radaway, or Radaway. Blah. And that is a good show of healing. This area is my home base. This is where I always will come back to, which has the most people. And I have actually... Okay, if you didn't know, a way that you can easily transfer people, and this is actually a decent segue into the perk chart. If you did not know, and this is why it's amazing that this game does not actually have a level cap, just each level takes a little bit more to level up, I believe. It gets a little bit harder and harder and harder to level up, so at the later levels, it's going to be virtually impossible, relatively speaking, unless you grind your absolute ass off. There's ways to grind in this game. I don't cover those. I personally don't like those. I just like playing the game and seeing what I get. But this specific thing is going to be really handy if you want to just have settlements in any way, shape, or form. If you just want settlements, even if it's just one or multiple, this is your best friend, because you can actually take them or send them on a supply line run, use them or not use them. Go into the menu that is this. Look at them and command them to do something else when they get here with their Brahmin. Brahmin is two-headed cow. If you've seen the Fallout show, I think they show it. I actually haven't seen it. I watched a little bit over my dad's shoulder, and the power armor that doesn't have any sentience whatsoever crushed a guy's skull without anyone piloting it. That alone just made me not want to not watch it. And before that, the guy's head that has no interest to the Murloc. The Murloc doesn't care. The Murloc, I think it was a Murloc. It was a weird fish thing that took the head and ran. Spoilers, but it's not really, it's very vague. But if you know, you know. The guy that the head ran off with it, the thing ran off with the head, it was using it as bait. Sure, that's a typical movie thing, but why the fuck would it do that? It's a fish. It just wants the head to eat the head. If it didn't grab the head to eat it, why the fuck did it grab the head? It's an animal. It's not a person. It's not sentient. These things are just irradiated animals. Like, different things like that. It could be a good show, but it's not what I really want to see out of a good show for a game. I want to see the game portrayed, not little story pieces like the typical animal taking the story piece type of trope, when there shouldn't be that. Like, if it was like a dog grabbing it, running away, sure, it's a random dog. They're going to grab something and go if they're playful, different things like that. You can play around that. A random predator? No. And different things like that. And I'm sorry getting on that tangent, but it's just not really my cup of tea, and hopefully you did watch it. Hopefully it is a good show to you if you did watch it, because that will be a good reason why you're playing this, or why you're watching this video, and hopefully wanting to play this. And like I said, you can, going back into what I said, you can transfer people. Up at the top, you'll see a good bit of things like people, food, water, power, defense, beds. People is the main thing that you're going to need to generate food. Defense is typically, and what you're going to need beds for. People can be literally anyone, including Cogsworth, I believe, is a person, relatively speaking, but all sorts of different people that you can have here, even companions. Technically, dog meat doesn't count. If you know who dog meat is literally a dog. If you don't know, it's literally a dog. But dog meat, it does not count as people because you cannot command them to do anything. All of those people you can actually command to do things like stand a guard posts, farm, different things like that, and there's all sorts of other things. You need beds for the amount of people. You need one-to-one beds. I don't know exactly how many you need for water or food or power or defense. And okay, you technically do not need power even for these boys. You do not need power. Power is only used for things like over here. And I'm not going to cut off a good bit of this so you can actually see all of this and how much space you can actually use, because this is just what I'm doing. You can do so many other things. Like, you could not even set up this place. You could completely dismantle it and haul all of the shit somewhere else. You don't have to set up here. Each one of these things, or these things here, are a place you can actually set up and build on. There's actually not just these. There's other places here, and they're like, this is also a place you can set up and farm on. How you can tell if it's a place you can go to is the people icon and the happy icon. Happiness is very handy because it's just cool to make people happier, in my personal opinion. Even though these are digital constructs that do not mean anything, it's still nice to feel like you're helping something, in my personal opinion. The reason why you would need power is for things like sirens, recruitment radio beacons, and that general thing, and water generation. I have a fuck ton of water generation down here, so it's all in the same area. Those actually need power to generate a fuck ton of water, 10 per. And these generate only 3, which is why I have a multiple of these. And even though this kind of looks stupid and you wouldn't actually do this IRL, it still works, which is why I do it. Because technically it works, even though it doesn't look all that pretty or useful. And all of that all works together to make a tightly knit community. And all the turds you saw is because making there is a couple bits of jank in this game, which I do want to specify, but I do not want it to be a deterrent to play this game. This game is a beautiful game, but there is a little bit of jank because it's a little bit old. The building system is not. It is good, but it is not flawless. Some of the flaws I can easily demonstrate. First, you cannot actually jump while you're holding something or while you're in this mode at all because... Or wait, no, you can't. Never mind. My X is my jump button whenever I don't have this active, but you can actually jump. Never mind. Ignore me or for that little bit. But the problem with building is when you're trying to make a wall and there is any slight deviation in the ground, because you cannot actually do the Fortnite thing, for example, of build in the ground to make a good wall. Just that little adjustment to the general building format will make it so much better, but because they don't have it, it's a little bit janky trying to build anything, which is why this area, I decided to fuck the wall and just completely get rid of it and place turret after turret after turret after turret, after turret, after turret, after turret, after turret, after turret, just all along this line. And I am thinking about adding more. Just because of maximum overkill. Because okay, that bridge over there is the way I think most people are going to be coming here. Like, I've only transferred 4 people, I believe, 3 people possibly. 4-ish people. 4-ish people that came across in that bridge specifically. They have not come across anywhere else, but I have the entrances just in case I really want them. Like if I'm running across, like you can still find like animals, different things like that to kill while adventuring. Hell, you can find different bandits that can show up with specialized gear, and I do want to talk about that actually. Specialized gear that can give you cool shit and just overall upgrades. Like for an example, an upgrade I got was my machete. My machete, the serrated machete is an upgrade for the typical machete. The typical machete, and this actually can go into all of this, hell yeah. The typical machete does not have, it has like 20 damage, somewhere around there, 20-ish damage for the overall weapon. But you can actually upgrade it if you have a higher thing. That, blacksmith, to actually get higher and higher upgrade potential for your melee weapons. Because I found this serrated machete, I could easily equip it and boom, I had that serrated machete. Which is absolutely beautiful because that is an instant upgrade that can then go into, going back to the perk system, things like this, because that instantly upgraded, like serrated machete, okay, base machete was like 20-ish, 21, 22 damage. And then the serrated machete was 39-ish. That now makes the machete do a whopping serrated machete do 43 damage. And 43 damage in other games doesn't sound like a whole lot. But in this game, there we go. That weapon that can typically like 1, 2, 3 shot somebody, and that can 1, 2, 3 shot somebody. If I hit him in the head, good. Like this is a good primary, relatively speaking. And okay, tip for this game: have a 3.38. I don't know exactly what that is called, but 0.38 on your setup, because that is the most common ammo type, and you can customize this weapon to be literally anything. And that is something else I'm going to talk about, how the customization for weapons and armor is fucking crazy. All of these different things change all sorts of different things. And you can actually turn this thing into a pistol. I think that will actually turn it into a pistol if you change the barrel. Wait, why is that? Oh, that is... Where is mine? There we go. This is mine. I think you can actually turn it into a pistol if you equip that. But that... Oh yeah, this is another good example of I found an upgrade. Which is amazing, and there's the scavenger department. Everything that you pick up, everything you can pick up if it is a slight upgrade. And that is something very iffy about this game. If you don't like learning the games you play, you can have fun, but you're going to have less overall power, so to speak. Like, you're going to be able to do a whole lot, but if you scavenge and fully learn the environment and learn how little things work in tandem, it's beautiful. Like, for an example, these farms are very handy. You can give people food and different things like that, but you can make vegetable starch, which is instant adhesive. Just right then and there. And the purified water, like I said, you just need water source. You constantly get the purified water. Like, I did not make any of that. You can make purified water, but I did not make any of that 50 purified water that you see right there. I didn't make any of that. That was just them doing it themselves. Same with the potato, the corn. All I did was plant every single corn I got, every single potato I got, and went from there. It is amazing how you can just use anything at your disposal. You can't make everything. The two things that you can really make is adhesive and oil, but that's about it. I wish there was more to that general working and everything working together. Like, I wish there was ways to make more things, like being able to farm blood bags. Like, that's a very weird thing to be asking to farm, but this game uses those as healing. Like, you can actually make right away with, oh, you don't actually need. I thought you needed blood bags. You need blood bags for stim pack and healing overall, but, you don't actually need it for right away. I thought you did. But that is still all of these different things that work together. And you can actually farm some things, like glowing fungus you can't farm, a couple flowers here that you can't farm, and that general thing is just kind of... It's interesting that it gives you a reason to go explore. That is awesome, but it is a little bit lackluster when you can set up all this time, all this effort to farm everything you could possibly need, but you can't actually farm everything you could possibly need, even though it is a plant you could theoretically farm. It's just a little bit, not annoying, it's a personal choice. I know it is, just it's lackluster, I think is the best way to put it, and that's how I put it earlier. Just a little bit lackluster. And there's power armor and all sorts of shit that can do all sorts of shit. Like, this last bit I'm going to show off. Just, this game is crazy in the amount of shit you can do because of things like that. Sure, you have to be max level in science. Science allows you to actually, okay, armor is specifically armor. Science allows you to make better turrets, make better shit, and this is not going to be the last thing for this video, but the last thing for this bit here. The next bit, you're actually going to see me explaining, or see and hear me explaining how the scavenging works. Or how the gameplay and just the actual gameplay. This is half the gameplay. The other half is going into the environments and getting the shit to bring back to make shit. But the science is something that you can actually use to make better everything, really. You can make better turrets, you can make better upgrades for energy-based weapons, scientific weapons, like energy-based weapons, like the energy musket I have, and that, just general things like that. Scientific things, the more science you have, the more know-how you have in that scientific endeavor. And it's all sorts of things, except for like hacking, that general thing, that's an entirely different thing. And there's things like that in this game that are very unique and very interesting, and I've actually done that before, not in this playthrough. This is a completely different playthrough. The last time I played this game was on my PS4, I believe. I've had this PS5 for like a year, 2 years now. I don't know exactly how long I've had this PS5, but, what was I going to say? I hope you play this game, and now you're going to see, technically, back in my time, going to be the future for you, because I have already done this yesterday when I should have uploaded this video. But the voice recording is while I'm actually editing this. This shit is amazing. Those are actually very good for oil and things like that, and every little thing. Even those ice containers have a fuck ton of loot. Even if you wouldn't really think it has that, it still has that. Every little thing is fucking good that you could possibly loot, even trash cans, dumpsters, anything lootable. See what's in it. This game is crazy with the amount of shit just random enemies can have. Like, the guys out there have a Fat Man, which is, if you didn't know, a slingshot basically that launches a mini nuke at you, which, before I ran this time, killed me in one shot, because this is right after that. And like I said, I am basically playing as Brock Samson because I love my machete. And that's the mini nuke. Right there, I got a little bit spooked because mini nukes are fucking terrifying because they're always a one-shot, I believe, because of the amount of damage they do. So I take a little bit of a breather and fully prepare, fully just plan out an attack of shotgun. Because that shotgun does a whopping 60, 70 damage around there per shot, which is also semi-automatic, which is absolutely amazing. And nowhere safe, even if you think it's just one enemy type, nah, you got multiple. The slow-mo menu is something that you can actually build into. It's called VATs. The VATs are basically guaranteed hits on a target if you have good line of sight, different things like that. You don't need it, and it does cost stamina, basically, and different things like that. You don't need it constantly, but you can build into it to basically have it constantly. And always use a melee weapon if you want to conserve ammo, if you want to. When loading an enemy, you can get anything on the person, including, like, that guy was in power armor. I did not notice this, but I got power armor pieces right then and there that I could, if I wanted to, put on my power armor back at the shop, which is absolutely amazing. And different things like that. You can get every weapon they have, everything like that, which is why I instantly grabbed that Fat Man without worrying about it. And like I said in the previous section, you can also get things from dismantling those things, so you can actually get a whole lot of shit. This is my laser musket that I have not fully upgraded, but if you really want to delve deep into it, and I'm not going to upgrade it because it costs science, and we're going to have to level up science and all that different things that I'm not going to do personally, because I don't want to do that. I want to go down other lines. But If you do, this weapon can do anything. It can basically be a shotgun if you want to. And the amazing thing about it, each one of those cranks that you're seeing there is more and more damage. It costs more and more cells. You can't make cells. You have to find cells. They're a non-common resource. I think they're on like the rare side of things. But each crank does more and more damage. You can make that do whatever the fuck you want, basically, if you build into it, which is something crazy about this game. I don't even have the max cranks available for that weapon. I think it goes up to 6, 7. And I just say fuck it because I want to just go melee him instead. That right there is a good demonstration of the parry system in this game that you can actually do with any melee weapon against, I think, just about any melee. I think like bigger boys, robot boys, and just stuff like that, you can't parry, but typical people you can parry in ghouls. The reason why I don't grab everything here is because I know I'm really close to maximum inventory space or weight space. This game doesn't have inventory, it has maximum weight. If you get over that weight, I don't think you start taking damage at certain points, but you are not able to fast travel and you can barely walk, which absolutely sucks, which is why I prioritize not going over that. But you can maximize it, you can get it more and more and more by building into it with perks or just your armor overall. I'm going back through, making sure I comb through everything, because literally everything you can pick up is good in some way, shape, or form. These things are very light. Armor is typically a lot heavier than anything else, which is why I didn't grab that specifically. But I can grab things here and there if I really think it's going to be worth it. That right there is the mini nuke slingshot. It is very good because of the amount of damage you can do, but it is fucking heavy. It is basically this game's BFG, and it is absolutely beautiful. And yes, you just saw me stealth kill a turret. Every little nook and cranny could have something like under those stairs right there. And I'm keeping all of this in so you can hear the ambience, just hear the noises of this game, which is something I absolutely love. My personal favorite just architecture and general design is post-apocalyptic, be it nuke or just like environmental takeover, like in what's called The Last of Us, different things like that. Just apocalyptic art, basically. It's just fucking beautiful in my opinion. The tapping that you're hearing is the Deuce firearm rolling down the stairs. You'll actually hear it stop when I start walking away from the place. This is actually a very good example of how different areas can be so different. That little jut there you saw was because I actually walked around a little bit, debating if I should go in here. These areas are basically dungeons, basically. Think of it like that. Each dungeon is different, and that blood right there was actually a good example of what's going to come up. Because this one is a primarily trap-focused one. It's not that long, but it's a trap focused one, which is actually pretty fun. I'm looking around for what that was connected to because, like in Dishonored, that is connected to something that you can actually loot. This is going to be the last bit you're going to hear me talk, so I'm going to do my outro right now. Even though there's not a lot left. There's only a little bit left of the video. You're going to see me use this machete a good bit more. But I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.